Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I am very happy to be back here in Sydney. I am also enlightened by Ganesham Govinda's Prabhu's statement that I'm coming here for the 6th time. I had also lost track. But don't believe the other things he said. And I'm especially happy that I'm here in this month of Kartik. And this holy day of Deepavali is the first day I'm with all of you. And I hope that we can spend a few happy days together here for the next 10, 12 days. Hare Krishna. So today we'll have some discussion on the glories of this festival, Deepavali, and the days preceding that, and also the days after that. This festival of Deepavali is not just in one day. There's a series of days. So we'll speak briefly about that. Hare Krishna. So we'll have some kirtan now. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtotra Sat His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ki Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Mai Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai Shri Deepavali Mahotsava Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhobhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Nibhakta Shaktikam Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadho Vargenaya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatradara Naparaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Vedic culture in general and Krishna consciousness in particular is so nice because we have so many festivals. Every other day there's a festival. A festival is an occasion of joy. It's a celebration. There are lots of festivities. It's an occasion of merriment, happiness, joy. The Sanskrit word for festival is utsava. I think you've all heard of this word, utsava. So what does the word utsava mean actually? The word ut refers to removal. Sava refers to worldly misery or grief. So utsava is an occasion that removes our sorrow and grief. So on the ordinary plane of material activities, people try to forget their sorrows by celebrating mundane festivals. You know, it is said in Sanskrit, Manava Utsava Priyaha, which means human beings like to have festivals. Because generally life is so drab and dreary and monotonous and so full of suffering and pain. We want to have some occasions where we can enjoy ourselves thoroughly. And because there is generally a lack of God consciousness in the world, so the kind of festivals that people enjoy overall in the world are all mundane in nature. So for example, we have sporting festivals, yes, Olympic Games, Wimbledon, and football World Cups, and so many other sporting events. Here in Australia, you have so many other types, I don't know, rugby and soccer and what other festivals. So this is an occasion where thousands and thousands of people gather together and they experience some thrills. Of course, the losing party always ends up mourning, but then they're back again in full zest, the next attempt at victory and thrill. So you have these sporting festivals, you have film festivals. In a place like India, where generally one is supposed to have Vedic culture. One of our sannyasis was saying that as he was traveling somewhere, he saw a board that was announcing Matanotsava, meat. It's a festival of meat. What to do? This is the age of Kali. So they need some utsav, they need some festival. So in Germany you have the Oktoberfest. Everyone drinks beer. It's a beer drinking festival. Germany is famous for beer, among other things. So you need a festival. But if you're not God conscious, then those festivals are going to be simply causes of degradation. They are simply rooted in ignorance. And they will only perpetuate and further our bondage to this material world. They will only perpetuate our suffering. So they yield no real benefit to the people of the world. The enjoyment through such festivals is merely illusory. Sometimes you have people celebrating religious festivals, but often cutting across all religious faiths, these festivals are celebrated more as a formality, as a ritual, without understanding the deeper spiritual significance of it. People don't understand the true import and the purport of these festivals. And therefore these festivals are reduced to social events where people come and socialize, and maybe they exchange gifts, and they eat good food, they wear nice clothes, and it's generally a time of merrymaking. It's a holiday from your work. So whether it's a Christian festival or a Muslim festival or a Hindu festival or any other kind of religious festival, the true spiritual import gets clouded over by some social or some other kind of impetus. So as a result, what happens is that what was originally meant to be something very holy, something very spiritual, now morphs into something that is just ordinary, just something mundane. I often say that the word holiday originally started out as being holy day. That's the origin of the word, holy day. Because in the West, especially in the Christian tradition and the Jewish tradition, they wanted one day in the week where they would exclusively devote themselves to God, and they would not perform any other mundane activity like their business or job or anything else. And they would go to their place of worship and devote themselves to religious and spiritual activities. However, as time went by and people became more and more materialistic, the holiness of the holy day reduced, and the holiday became full of unholy activities. So today the word holiday is no longer a holy day, but it's rather an unholy day. So people look forward to the weekend so that they can go out and drink and party and do all sorts of things, anything that is unholy. So the very spirit of holidays, of festivals are lost. Even when it comes to the festival of Deepavali or Diwali, in various parts of the world, and especially in India where Diwali is celebrated, it is exactly that, just a mundane festival without any understanding of why it's celebrated. What is the spiritual significance of these days? So people just think it's a nice occasion to burst crackers and then eat some sweets and exchange gifts and have a fun time. So it's important for us to know what these festivals are all about. Therefore, if you look at our Vaishnava calendar, you'll find a list of so many festivals that appear at different times. So we should try to understand the significance and the purpose of each festival that's listed in that calendar, at the very least. There are many other festivals too, but at least those that are listed in our calendar, we should try to understand the significance of that. So Deepavali Deep and Avali has two words. Deep means a light or a lamp. Avali means a row in Sanskrit. So Deepavali indicates lighting a row of lamps, a row of lights to celebrate something. When there's a joyous occasion, we celebrate it like that. The word deep or light is very significant in Vedic culture, and in general it's also appreciated all over the world, that when there's something auspicious or joyous, you light a lamp. So in Vedic culture, lamp is lit to invoke auspiciousness and to drive away inauspiciousness. A lamp or light also signifies knowledge, as opposed to darkness, which signifies ignorance. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Tesham evanukam partham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. He says, Tesham, to them, to whom? Those who have surrendered to me utterly, who are completely engaged in my devotional service, to them. Out of mercy, I, seated in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness of ignorance. So we are born in the darkest of ignorance. We are not born as self-realized souls. Very, very, very few rare souls in history are born like that. So we are born in ignorance, and that's there deep in our heart. So the torchlight of knowledge has to be lit in the heart. And Krishna says, I do that. Seated in the heart of all living beings, I light the lamp of knowledge in the hearts of those who are dedicated to me and who serve me with faith and devotion without interruption. So that is the significance of a lamp. A lamp is also used to offer worship. You see, in the Arati ceremony, we offer a lamp, a ghee lamp. What's the purpose of offering the lamp? Actually, what is the purpose of the Arati ceremony? It has many different kinds of explanations. One of the explanations is that we offer the elements of material nature to Krishna with devotion. Because after all, these elements are His energies, they are His property, and therefore we must offer what belongs to Him, and everything belongs to Him, back to Him, but added with the element of devotion. So when we offer incense, we offer in the earth element. When you offer water, you're offering the water element. When you use a fan, you offer the wind element, the air element. Similarly, when you offer the fire, you're offering the fire element to Him, the lamp. So the lamp is also used as an expression of our devotion to offer the fire element to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Now, we should see that we don't use the lamp for something that is inauspicious. It's the modern custom that you celebrate birthdays, and then you have candles in the cake. And as many candles as the number of years you've lived, right? If you're 20 years old, you have 20 candles. And then the birthday boy or the birthday girl huffs and puffs and blows out those candles. Yes? I don't know if people still do that. People do that still? So I tell devotees wherever I travel that, this is not a good thing to do at all. Because when you blow out the lamp, you're actually bringing in inauspiciousness. So what you're saying by the act of blowing out the light is that you want darkness in that person's life. The darkness of ignorance. Rather, we should light a lamp. We should not extinguish lamps. So at least if you have to celebrate birthdays like that, don't blow out the lights. Don't blow out the lamps. Even today it is a custom that when you start something auspicious or you start some ceremony or a festival or any program, generally you do it by lighting a lamp to invoke auspiciousness. So therefore, for all festive, joyous and ceremonial occasions, lamps are lit. It's also an expression of our devotion. So Deepavali is when you light a series of lamps. And then Deepotsav. So Deep Utsav is a festival of lights. So all over the world, Deepavali is well known as a festival of lights. Even as I was flying down from India in the airline, Malaysian Airlines, they were playing Indian classical music in the plane. And I asked them, how come? I was expecting to hear some Malaysian music or something like that. They said, today is Deepavali. And happy Diwali to you, the air hostess said. So all the way, not just from Delhi to Kuala Lumpur, from Kuala Lumpur, Sydney also, they were playing this music because they were celebrating Deepavali. They also celebrate Deepavali in the House of Lords, or House of Commons, I forget which one, in London. The Prime Minister, the Queen, they all come, and then different devotees speak. ISKCON is also represented there. The president of the Bhaktivedanta Manor also speaks a few words. Even in Australia, I'm told, there's a festival of the Prime Minister and other dignitaries attending the program. So it's becoming a very well-known festival all over the world, which is very nice. But then what is it all about, really? That's the question. At least we who are practicing devotees should have a deeper idea of what it is. Let's start with a few days before Deepavali. Actually, Diwali is generally celebrated not just as one day, but as several days. It's a week-long festival, maybe 6 days, 5 days at least. The whole of Kartik month is full of festivity and joy, and we're specifically talking of these 5 or 6 days. This Deepavali day is the day of the new moon. New moon is a time when the moon is not seen. The dark moon is completely covered over. We cannot see it. And as opposed to that, after 15 days or before 15 days, you have the full moon. So from the full moon to the new moon, you have a period of 14 or 15 days. And that time is called the waning moon. Right? So from the full moon, the brightness reduces till it comes to the new moon when it's not seen. And again it starts waxing from the new moon to the full moon. So that's called the period of the waxing fortnight. And previous to that is the waning fortnight. So the fortnight leading up to today, that is Deepavali, which is Amavasya in Sanskrit, which means the new moon, when the moon cannot be seen. That's the waning fortnight. This is the 15th day, or the 14th, 15th actually, the Tithi. So on the 12th day, which is Dvadashi, it's called the Govatsa Dvadashi, where the cow and her calf are worshipped. Of course, we as devotees worship the cows on all days, and specifically on the Govardhan Puja day, which is tomorrow. So we have Go Puja, Go Krida, etc. tomorrow. But traditionally in Vedic culture, this is also one day where the cow and her calf are worshipped. Because it is said that it is on this day that Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, emerged from the churning of the milk ocean, the Samudra Manthan. You know, the demons and the demigods were churning the milk ocean to get nectar. So many things came out from that churning. So one of the things was this Kamadhenu cow. Kamadhenu, Kama means desires. So that cow who can fulfill all our desires. So the demigods and the demons together took the cows. The demons weren't looking at the cow. They were thinking how to get nectar so we can live a long life. So then this cow was given over to the 7 sages, and eventually it came into the possession of a sage called Vasishtha. And then this cow was called Nandini. There's a big history about this cow, Nandini, and Vishwamitra Muni and so on. So therefore this day is also called the Nandini Vrata. So many people in Vedic culture worship the cow and her calf on this day. The cow is considered the mother, as you know, of all humanity. And she is worshipped because her blessings can give rise to auspiciousness in our life. Just going and stroking the back of a cow, feeding the cow some grass, cleaning the cow dung from the floor. These are very nice services to do. Generally, when you have trouble in your life, and I'm sure we can't complain of any lack of it. So, one thing to do, which many devotees do, is they visit a goshala somewhere and they serve the cows. I remember one sannyasi saying that one time there was a husband and wife having a lot of quarrels. And he was at his wit's end, he didn't know what to do. So he had tried to kind of mediate and solve the problem, but he wasn't able to. So he said, just go and serve the cows. So they went and served the cows and they became all right. So anyway, it goes to show that this is very auspicious, very nice. So on this day, the cows are worshipped everywhere and is known by different names in different parts. So that is the 12th day. And then on the 13th day, which is Trayodashi, the 13th day of the fortnight, the Vedic month has 2 fortnights, the waning and the waxing fortnight. So on the 13th day, it's called Dhanteras. It's actually a distortion of the original word Dhana Trayodashi or Dhanvantari Trayodashi. Teras comes from Tera or 13. So it's the corruption of the original word. So it is said to be the day when Lord Dhanvantari, who is an incarnation of Lord Krishna, appeared from the ocean, the same ocean where the milk ocean where the demons and demigods were churning. So Dhanvantari emerged. He is an incarnation, and in one hand he was holding a pot of nectar, that nectar for which the demons and the devotees were anxious, the purpose for which they had been churning the milk ocean. So in his hand, he had the pot of nectar, and in the other hand, it is said, he had the Ayurveda text. Of course, the demons and demigods were looking at that pot of nectar. So they grabbed it. The demons managed to grab it first, and so they had it. And then, of course, you all know the pastime of how the demigods went to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu incarnated as Mohini Murti. And then he somehow, by trickery, transcendental trickery, got the nectar from Mohini Murti. Recently, a few weeks ago, I was in a yatra in South India with a group of devotees. We went to many places of Lord Narasimhadev's pastimes, and we also went to one temple, which is a temple of Mohini Murti, Mohini Avatar. I have personally never been to a temple of Mohini Murti before, so this was also my first visit to a Mohini Avatar temple. And this deity is very unique because in the front, when you look at the deity from the front, it is Lord Vishnu with 4 arms. When you go to the rear side of the deity, you see Mohini Murtis. She's got the hair of a lady, and she's Mohini Murti. And it's said to be the form that Lord Shiva saw when he was going after Mohini Murti. So in any case, Mohini Murti finally got the nectar. But Dhanvantari emerged. So therefore, this day is also celebrated in India by the government as the National Ayurveda Day. Just recently they announced that, because it is a day when Dhanvantari appeared. If you go to any Ayurvedic hospital or any Ayurvedic practitioner, usually they will always have a deity of Dhanvantari. Because he is the Lord, actually. He is an incarnation of the Lord. And he gave this science of Ayurveda, the science of life, to humanity. He taught it to Sushrut, and then so on, the Parampara, the disciplic succession of Ayurveda started. So on this day, those who are practicing Ayurveda, they worship Dhanvantari, and in general, people in Vedic culture worship Dhanvantari for good health, and so on. It is also called Dhana Trayodashi. It is said that Lakshmi also, the goddess of fortune, also appeared from the churning of the milk ocean. There are differing accounts of exactly on which day Lakshmi Devi appeared. But anyway, this is also one of those days where Lakshmi Devi is said to have appeared, the goddess of fortune, from the churning of the milk ocean. And she immediately went to Lord Vishnu. And then she was married to Lord Vishnu. Of course, Lakshmi Devi is forever, eternally the consort of Lord Vishnu. But when the Lord appears within this material world, he performs pastimes. Just like Sita and Ram. Sita and Ram are eternally together in the spiritual world. However, when they appear in the material world, it appears that there is some event that happens. They were not together before, and then there is a Swayamvara ceremony, and there's a competition of many princes who want the hand of Sita in marriage, and they come and Ram emerges victorious there. He breaks the bow of Lord Shiva, and then he wins the hand of Sita in marriage, and then they get married. So this is a pastime. But actually, they're always together in the spiritual world. Similarly, Lakshmi Devi and Lord Narayan or Lord Vishnu are forever together. But this is a pastime because the Lord is appearing within the material world. So because Lakshmi Devi appears there and then she got married to Lord Vishnu, so many people, they worship Goddess Lakshmi on this day. Of course, Srila Prabhupada explains that one should not worship Lakshmi Devi alone, because Lakshmi Devi is the goddess of wealth. Lakshmi Devi herself is always engaged in the service of her husband, Lord Narayan. So Lakshmi, which means wealth, is meant for being used in the service of Lord Krishna, for the Supreme Lord. It's not meant for being used only for our own sense gratification. So Srila Prabhupada explains that one who worships Lakshmi without worshipping Narayan is actually not doing the right thing, because they want to have wealth separately for their own pleasure, for their own enjoyment, but has nothing to do with the service to the Lord. So that attitude is not good. It is not devotional. It is selfish. But still, at least people worship something rather than looting a bank or, trying to get money in some other way. They worship Goddess Lakshmi, please give us money. And Lakshmi Devi says, all right, okay, we'll give you some money, but I don't give you happiness. Remember that. That only my husband can give. Lord, when you become devotees of the Lord, then real happiness will come. You only want to worship Lakshmi separately, she may give you money if you like. But that money would be the cause of great disturbance in life. So anyway, people worship Lakshmi also on this day. And because it is Lakshmi's day, so it is the tradition for people, they will buy a lot of gold and silver and so on. It's considered auspicious to buy it on this day, just as it is on the Akshaya Tritiya day, which is considered the hottest day in the year. Also, many people offer lamps in the sky on this day. They also offer lamps at the root of Tulasi. They worship Tulasi also on this day. And there's an interesting story that I want to tell that happened on this night, on the 13th night. There was a king called Hima, and he had a son, the prince, and he was just newly married, a young man. And in his horoscope, it was said that he would die on the 4th day after his marriage by snake bite. So his wife, the young princess, came to know about this. So she was wondering, what should I do to save my husband's life? So then, when the 4th night arrived, she had already made her preparations. And she was a princess, so she was very wealthy. So she had a lot of gold and silver, ornaments and everything. Lots of them. So she had mountains of these things. She placed them all around their house. And they were shining like anything, with all the diamonds and emeralds and gold and silver and everything like that. And she also lit lamps all around. And she kept her husband awake by telling him stories and by singing melodious songs, devotional songs, I presume. And in this way, the night was moving on. Yamaraj, the god of death, he was approaching. But when he came there, he was blinded by the glare of all those ornaments and the gold and silver and the lamps that were shining so much he couldn't even see. So he just perched himself on top of the ornaments and he didn't go further. And because the princess was saying so many nice stories, he got absorbed in the stories and the night passed. And in this way, the princess saved the life of her husband. So therefore, in commemoration of that, on the next day, which is a Chaturdashi, the 14th day, that is yesterday. Today is the Amavasya day, the night of the full moon. Chaturdashi is the 14th Tithi, just before that. So on that day or that night, that is celebrated by some people in honor of Lord Yama, or rather to pacify him so that he should not come to the house now. So they offer lamps to Lord Yama. And they place these lamps around. So the festival of lamps actually starts much before, not just on Diwali. And we as devotees of Krishna do it every day in the month of Kartik. So for us it starts even before. So then to keep auspiciousness, to keep inauspiciousness away, to keep Yamaraj away so that there is no death in the family during this period, they light these lamps. So Yamaraj should not come in. So then we come to the Chaturdashi. Yama Deepadan is done, not only for Krishna but also for Yama. But for one who is a devotee of Krishna, because Yama is one of the Mahajans, one of the great devotees of the Lord, devotees don't separately need to worship Yamaraj. Worshipping Krishna is sufficient. And he will handle Yamaraj. He will take care of Yamaraj. And a devotee understands that if death is to come at a certain time, it's destined to come. If that's what the Lord wills, so be it. And the devotee is prepared for passing away from this world at any time. Because for a devotee, there is no consideration of auspicious and inauspicious times and places to pass away. In a sense there is, but ultimately in a higher sense, when one is thinking of Krishna, when one is involved in serving Krishna, which is transcendental, then it is beyond any material considerations of auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. Because Krishna consciousness is the most auspicious thing and activity in existence. So for a devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness, it doesn't really matter. But nevertheless, I'm saying all these things so we understand the larger Vedic culture. We understand that there is a hierarchy of personalities whom we must also respect. It is an important principle, theological principle for us, that we understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are monotheists in that sense. We accept Krishna as his incarnations, but we believe in that one Supreme Lord. At the same time, we also understand that there are other divinities who are of a lesser stature, who are dependent on that Supreme Divinity, Krishna. These divinities, who are minor divinities, subordinate divinities, should not be confused with the Supreme Lord. That is an offense. Many people worship the demigods thinking them to be supreme, which is offensive. At the same time, we should not offend the demigods either. That is also offensive. So in our eagerness to serve the Supreme Lord Krishna, we should not end up offending and criticizing the demigods. Sometimes, of course, the pastimes of Krishna are such that the demigods are shown in poor light. For example, in the time of the Govardhan Leela, and Indra is shown in pretty bad light. And he exhibits his lower nature. So one sannyasi was joking one time in one lecture because he was speaking about Govardhan Leela and he was speaking about Indra's bad qualities. And he said, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says if that one leaves his devotional service incomplete in this life, then one will be born in the heavenly planets in the next life and enjoy life there for thousands of years and then be born again on the earth and continue Krishna consciousness. So he said, I've been criticizing Indra. If I don't complete my devotional service in this life, Indra will be my next temple president. And you never know, so I better not criticize him too much now. I'll be under him in my next life. So anyway, the point is that we understand that demigods are not the Supreme Lord. At the same time, we should respect them. We should not criticize them because we understand these are also very exalted personalities. They're not ordinary people. Just as if a minister were to walk in here, the minister in the government of Australia were to walk in here, we would stand up to offer respect to that person. We wouldn't say, oh, maybe not a devotee, so why should I respect? No, because somehow by the Lord's sanction, this person has got an important position where he or she is ruling over all of us. So we have to respect that. We don't stand on false ego. Similarly, it doesn't mean that because someone is a minister, we will listen to everything they say. No, we will listen to Krishna's words of wisdom. But we offer respect. So in any case, the reason behind telling you about these other festivals is that we have a larger idea of the Vedic culture and how these different personalities fit in and how we should respect everyone. We don't necessarily observe all these festivals, but there are other people who do. So we should know about these things. So this is as far as Yamadipadan is concerned. In certain parts of India, this 14th day is called a small Diwali. And in certain parts of South India, it's considered the main Diwali day. So either way, this is Chaturdashi. It's also called Naraka Chaturdashi. Naraka means hell. And the reason this has got the name is because Krishna killed a demon whose name was Narakasur or Bhaumasur on this day. This is explained by Shukadev Goswami in the 10th canto in quite a bit of detail. How many of you have read the Krishna book? Okay, one of the first things you have to do is in this month of Kartik, read the Krishna book. Okay, all of you read that. Srila Prabhupada wanted all the devotees to read the Krishna book. It contains all the pastimes of Krishna, right from the time before his birth, all the way up till the end of his Dwarka pastimes. So in the 10th canto, Shukadev Goswami describes in detail about the killing of Bhaumasura or Narakasura by Krishna. Now this Bhaumasura, the name originates because he was a son of Bhumi. Bhumi is Mother Earth. The Sanskrit name for earth is Bhumi. So because he's a son of Bhumi, he's called Bhauma. Now Mother Earth is a great devotee of the Lord. And you know who the father of Bhaumasura was? Anyone knows? Varahadev, the Supreme Lord in his Boar incarnation, Varaha incarnation. So when he lifted earth, who was submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean with these tusks, he actually impregnated her because the Lord is transcendental. So therefore he impregnated her with the touch of his tusk. And therefore Bhauma was born. Now sometimes children lament, or devotees lament that the children are not devotees and so on. Never mind, even the Lord's son is sometimes not a devotee. So if it's of any consolation to you, just remember, not only was the Lord's son not a devotee, he was a demon. So Bhaumasura, he had actually created havoc everywhere. He had even gone to the heavenly planets, and he had very most impudently taken away the umbrella that was there on the throne of Varuna, the god of the oceans. He had also stolen the earrings of Mother Aditi, who is the mother of the demigods. And he had done numerous such things. So Indra and the demigods approached Krishna in Dwarka. Please, could you do something about this demon? So Krishna says, all right. So he got on the back of Garuda, his carrier, the eagle carrier. And he took along with him his second senior-most queen, or rather one of his senior queens, Satyabhama Devi. And so they went on Garuda. Normally Krishna wouldn't take his queens for battles, but in this one occasion he did. So they went there to his capital city of Bhaumasur, which is called Prag-Jyotishpur. Now this capital city was tremendously fortified. Shukadev Goswami describes the fortifications of this city. Time does not permit us to speak in detail about that. But Krishna approached the city riding on Garuda, And he destroyed all the fortifications, and there were different levels of obstruction, water moat, a gaseous, wall, and so many other things, barbed wires. And with his weapons and his Sudarshan Chakra, he destroyed all of them. Meanwhile, the armies of Bhaumasura came, he killed them. There was a demon called Mura who was living within the water. He had 5 heads. He also came out and began a huge battle with Krishna. And Krishna defeated him easily. That's described in some detail by Shukadev Goswami. Then Mura's sons came forward. He killed them as well. Eventually he destroyed the walls and Krishna created havoc in the city. By this time, Bhaumasura was inflamed with rage. When he heard all this and he saw all this, so he rushed out to meet Krishna in battle. A battle ensued, and eventually, of course, Krishna killed the Mura demon and also Bhaumasura. Because Krishna killed Mura, he is called Murari. Murari. Mura and Ari. Ari means enemy. Mura is the name of the demon. So the enemy of the demon Mura. So he's Murari. And then he killed Bhaumasura. And then after that, he went inside and he saw that there were 16,100 princesses who had been kidnapped by Bhaumasura and had been kept in the confines of his palace. They had been arrested there. And he didn't have time to marry them because by the time Krishna had arrived. So then he freed all those princesses. And all those princesses, immediately upon seeing Krishna, decided that they all wanted Krishna as their husband. So Krishna is the super soul in everybody's heart. So he immediately understood the desire of each of these 16,100 queens. And he arranged to get them married. But first of all, he had to send them to Dwarka. So he got all the facilities from Bhaumasura's kingdom. He had them each on a splendid chariot, and he had them sent in a huge procession. And he also took away a lot of gold and diamonds and other things, valuables from there, and had them sent to Dwarka. And he sent a message ahead that the 16,100 princesses are coming there. I'll be there shortly in Dwarka, and I'll be marrying all of them. Meanwhile, he had other things to do. Before he went for the wedding ceremony, he had a few loose ends to tie up. What were the loose ends to tie up? You see, the original complaint of Indra was that Bhaumasura had stolen certain things, valuable items from the heavenly planets. So Krishna had to return them. So then Krishna said, okay, en route to Dwarka, let me fly to Swargaloka, heavenly world. So Krishna with Satyabhama sitting on Garuda, they went up to the heavenly planet and they returned all these things, the earrings to Aditi and the umbrella from the throne to Varuna and other valuables to Indra. Indra was very happy. Now, Satyabhama Devi, the queen of Krishna, saw this tree that was in Indra's garden. This tree was called the Parijat tree. The Parijat tree is very famous in Sanskrit literature. It is a very, very fragrant tree. The leaves, the flowers are extremely fragrant, heavenly fragrance. And it spreads for miles and miles and miles. And there was no Parijat tree on earth. It's only a heavenly tree. Now what had happened one time previously was that Narad Muni, the great devotee, wandering saint, had got one flower of Parijat from the heavenly planet, and he had given it to Queen Rukmini, the senior most queen of Krishna. And Satyabhama Devi had come to know about it. So she also wanted to have one. So when she came to Krishna, Krishna was a perfect diplomat, so he understood how to pacify the situation. He said, what to speak of a flower, I'll give you the entire tree. Now, Satyabhama hadn't forgotten that. So when they came to the heavenly planets and it was time to depart, Satyabhama Devi just picked up one tree and wanted to bring it along. And at that time, Indra and the other demigods were enraged. How can you take a tree from the heavenly planets to take it to earth? This tree is meant to be only on the heavenly planet. So, funny and unbelievable as it may seem, that very same Indra, who had been chastened before by Krishna on other occasions, who had just previously come and fallen at Krishna's feet to help him recover all the valuables of Svargaloka from Bhaumasura, now because of one Parijat tree, he turned against Krishna. He didn't offer permission, and then there was a battle. And Krishna very easily defeated the demigods and took away the Parijat tree by force anyway. So just see, this is the nature of the materialistic mind. Even though one may be a devotee, it doesn't mean that by being a devotee one has automatically come to the transcendental platform. It takes long, long years of sincere practice before one can transcend these negative emotions like ego and hate and so on. So anyway, then Krishna brought back the Parijat tree. He was still on top of Garuda. He came back. Satyabhama Devi was happy. Rukmini Devi didn't mind. And all was peaceful in the Lord's ashram. And then, of course, Krishna married each of these 16,100 princesses. Previously, he had already married 8 princesses, starting with Rukmini, Jambavati, Satyabhama, Bhadra, etc. So with these 16,100 queens, now Krishna had 16,108 queens. So sometimes people ask that what kind of God is this? That he has 16,108 wives. And the answer is, this is proof that he is God. Because who can marry 16,108 queens and keep them happy, mind you? And he gave each queen one palace, enormous, huge palace with opulence that we cannot imagine. It was full of all sorts of heavenly opulences, transcendental opulences. And not only that, in every single palace, Krishna was simultaneously present with the queens. At the same time, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms, identical with each other. And he was there with each of these queens. So no queen felt that Krishna was not with them and he was with some other queen. So this is God. So anyway, these things happened. Krishna's killing of Narakasura or Bhaumasura happened on the Chaturdashi, the 14th day. That was yesterday, in this waning fortnight of the month of Kartik. And then we come to the 15th Tithi. The word Tithi is the Sanskrit or the Vedic calendar word for day, but doesn't exactly correspond with one day as we know it. For us, we follow the solar calendar in the Western world, and every day is of equal duration, 24 hours. But that's not the case in the Vedic calendar, especially the lunar calendar. It varies with the phases of the moon. And therefore you may have some that are longer than 24 hours. You may have some tithis that are very short. And sometimes you may have some tithi that is missed altogether. And you may jump one tithi and go to the third day. So the lunar month is usually about 29 days roughly. Maybe a little less, a little more sometimes. So this is the 15th Tithi, which is the new moon. And this is the day of Diwali. Some people say Lakshmi appeared on this particular day. As I was saying, there are numerous accounts of precisely which day on the day on which Lakshmi Devi appeared. So some say it is that she appeared on this particular day. So on Diwali, many people do Lakshmi Puja. I guess one reason is because people are very inclined to wealth. So they're looking for some occasion to worship Lakshmi to get wealth. So there are probably many days when they say Lakshmi has appeared. So they get an occasion to worship Lakshmi for more money. So people do Lakshmi Puja on this day. It is also most famously the day on which Lord Ram is said to have returned to Ayodhya after having killed the demon Ravana in Lanka. Now, the authentic original text of the Ramayana is the Valmiki Ramayana. Srila Prabhupada says this is the original Adi Ramayana. And there are many other versions of the Ramayana in various languages in various countries, including in other parts of Asia, Southeast Asia, in Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and many other places. You have various versions of the Ramayana, and even in India you have so many versions. But ultimately the original version of the Ramayana is Valmiki's Ramayana, the authentic one. So in the Valmiki Ramayana, it is hard to discern when exactly Lord Ram returned to Ayodhya, which was the day and the date on which he did it. It's difficult from that, but tradition has it, and tradition is also a very important source of evidence actually. And tradition has it that Lord Ram returned on this particular day, on Deepavali day, to Ayodhya. In the Padma Puran, and also perhaps in the Skanda Puran, there are indications, there are verses that explain that the battle that took place between Lord Ram and his army on one side and Ravana and his army on the other side took 87 days. But that is not the version of the Valmiki Ramayana. So in all likelihood, those descriptions in the Padma Puran and Skanda Puran refer to some previous kalpa. Because you see, the Lord's pastime happens sequentially. In every certain period, yuga, the Lord appears again and again and again. So this is not the first time that Lord Ram has appeared, not the first time that he has killed the demon Ravana. So he has done it previously as well. So probably these things refer to some previous kalpa. In any case, the tradition is that, as we understand today, that Lord Ram returned from Lanka to Ayodhya on this day. And therefore the citizens of Ayodhya, with great joy, they lit lamps all over the city, outside their homes, on the streets, in the shops, in the palaces, in the sky, on the trees, everywhere they lit lamps. Rows of lamps, so Deepavali. So Diwali is a corrupted word from Deepavali. So after Ram had killed Ravana, which is said to be the day of Dasera, there is a gap of 18 days or 20 days between Dasera and Diwali. And there is some controversy. People keep arguing, why did Lord Ram take 18 or 19 days to reach Ayodhya after that? Well, whatever it may be, as soon as Ram had killed Ravana, naturally the queens of Ravana came on the battlefield and they wailed and lamented in great grief. After that, Lord Ram called Vibhishan and said, Vibhishan, please now go ahead and make arrangements for the cremation ceremony of your brother Ravana. And that is the only way that the wives, the queens of Ravana, will get some comfort. And Vibhishana said that, my dear Lord, I don't want to do that. Even though he is my older brother, he was my older brother, but he was very envious. He was demoniac. He kidnapped the wives of other people. And I don't think that he deserves such a cremation. And then Lord Ram said, I appreciate your sentiment, but the point is that still, nevertheless, he was a hero. And, it's your duty as your brother to do the cremation rites, whatever he may or may not have done. So that Vibhishan went ahead and arranged the cremation, the last rites of Ravana. And then Ram asked Lakshman to perform the coronation ceremony for Vibhishan, to install him as the king of Lanka. Why did Ram ask Lakshman to do that? You see, when Dashrath Maharaj had agreed to Kaikeyi's proposal that Ram should live in the forest for 14 years, Ram was not supposed to enter into any city. He was always supposed to be outside city limits. So even in Kishkinda, when he killed Vali and installed Sugriva as the king, he didn't enter into Kishkinda town. He actually told Lakshman, you go and install him. So Ram, I beg your pardon, remained outside Kishkinda, and then it was Lakshman who went and oversaw the whole coronation procedure. So similarly in Lanka, the battle took place outside the city. So when it came time for the coronation ceremony, then it was Lakshman who actually went and oversaw the entire celebration and the coronation. Then after that, of course at that time, the demigods had also appeared, and Brahma had come, etc. And they said, please go home again. You are the Supreme Lord. So Ram said, I only understand myself to be a human being. If Brahma thinks something else, let him come and tell me. So then Brahma came there, and all the demigods had informed. Brahma folded his hands and said, O Lord, please know that you are the Supreme Lord. You have descended into this world upon our request. You want, because the burden of the burden of sinful elements on this earth had to be diminished and destroyed. Therefore, heeding our request, you have descended here. But now you have greatly reduced the burden by killing this fierce demon Ravana. So we are very much obliged to you. So please now depart to Ayodhya and perform your duties in Ayodhya as the king. So Lord Ram was reminded of his godhood. That happens sometimes. This is one of his pastimes. Even when Lord Ram was lamenting for Sita, after he learned that she had been kidnapped, he was also lamenting like a normal husband would if he loses his wife. So in any case, Ram was now ready to leave, but Vibhishan came to him and said, Lord, please stay here for some days and enjoy our hospitality. I have never had the opportunity of hosting you at our place. And Ram said, my dear Vibhishan, my heart is very much inclined to accept your proposal, but at the same time, I am very anxious to get back to Ayodhya because my dear brother Bharat has been waiting there, and he has been performing so many austerities, and I need to go back. So then Vibhishan said, yes, I have arranged nice transportation for you. And he got the Pushpak Viman. Viman means an aeroplane. Pushpak was the name of that aeroplane. Originally, it belonged to Kuber, who was the half-brother of Ravana. Kuber is the treasurer of the demigods, so he has a lot of wealth. And this Pushpak aerial vehicle can do space travel. It can travel anywhere. And it is remarkable because it doesn't go in any ordinary mundane fuel. And it operates on the instructions in the mind of the person who's driving it. So the person who's driving the chariot decides, go left, it goes left. Go to such and such destination, he just thinks. So the Vimana, the aerial vehicle, can respond to the thoughts of the person. And very remarkable, it can expand and contract at will. Extraordinarily opulent and beautiful. So then Lord Ram was very pleased. Actually, Ravana had snatched it away from Kuber. And now that Ravana was dead, naturally this was Vibhishan's property. So Vibhishan offered this for Lord Ram's service. So Ram said, no, see, I don't need it now because I just need it till I get to Ayodhya. Once I'm there, I'm happy. So then he called Sugriva and Sita, and they all came. Of course, Sita had been informed by Vibhishan and Hanuman before that to get ready, and the Agni Pariksha had happened. And you know all these stories that happened. When the time came to go, of course, Indra came and said, we have all descended here, we all have to give you a benediction. Because, Lord Ram is playing the role of an ordinary human being. So Lord Ram asked for all the slain monkey soldiers to be revived, brought back to life. So Indra said, it's very difficult, but I will do it. So all the monkey soldiers came back to life as if they had awoken from a deep sleep. But they realized after looking at the wounds that had healed, this was some miracle that had happened. So they said, we also want to come with you. And for Lord Ram, there's no problem. He said, okay, come along, hop into the Pushpak Viman. So the Pushpak Viman expanded. And the entire army of bears and monkeys, along with their leaders and Ram and Sita and Lakshman, boarded the aircraft. There was no problem. They were not sitting together crowded. There was no space constraint, no issue of reservations and waiting lists and cancellations. They all got in there. They were all comfortably seated in that Pushpak Viman, and it rose into the sky and headed towards Ayodhya. And as the aircraft was moving, Lord Ram was pointing to Sita all the different places in the battlefield. Look, this is where Ravana was killed. Look, that's Vibhishana's, that is the place where Indrajit was killed. And this is the bridge which we built, the monkey soldiers built to cross over the sea. And this is Rameshwaram, and he went on. And this is Kishkinda, this is the place of Sugriva. So at that time Sita Devi said to Ram, you know, the monkey soldiers, they're all coming with us. They've served us so nicely. They want to come for the coronation ceremony in Ayodhya. I would want their wives to come as well. No problem. So the Pushpak descended there, and all the wives came on board. The monkey soldiers had their wives in Kishkinda. So they came on board. Again, no space was no constraint. And then they all again moved up. And as they went along, Lord Ram was describing the various places during the sojourn in the forest in reverse order. So this is a place at Panchavati where I killed, at Janasthana where I killed the cousins of Ravana, Khara and Dushan. This is the place where Shurpanakha's nose was chopped off by Lakshman. And these are the different places. Chitrakoot, where we stayed for so many years. And then eventually they went, and somewhere near Ayodhya, they came to the ashram of a sage called Bharadvaj, at whose ashram they had stayed when they had come into exile. Bharadvaj Rishi was very happy to see them. At this place, Ram told Hanuman, I have a mission for you. Please go find Guha, the boatman who took me across the river when I had come into exile, and inform him of my arrival. Also, go to meet my younger brother Bharat, who is ruling Ayodhya in my absence, in my name. Bharat, as you know, was completely devoted to Lord Ram. When Lord Ram went into exile, this was heartbreaking for Bharat. Even though this was the wish of his mother, he actually disowned his own mother because she had done such a terrible thing. So he took a vow that he would wear matted locks of hair, just as his brother had gone into the forest wearing matted locks and living the life of a hermit. He would do the same. So he didn't live in the palace. He lived outside in a hut in a place called Nandigram outside of Ayodhya. And he ate only roots and berries and fruit, just as Ram was doing. He was also dressed in tree bark with matted locks. And he had placed the sandals, the footwear of Lord Ram on the throne, and he would worship them. And he considered that it was Lord Ram who was actually the ruler of Ayodhya. So this was Bharat's mood. But Lord Ram called Hanuman and said, look, go to Nandigram, meet Bharat, and inform him of my impending arrival. And Hanuman, I want you to observe the facial expressions of Bharat very carefully. If you detect the slightest anomaly in the expression, which indicates that Bharat is not pleased when he hears the news of my impending return, tell me that immediately. Find out if Bharat, for some reason, either because of attraction to the throne and the opulence, being attached to being the king of Ayodhya, if he wants to continue there, I am most happy to let him continue ruling as the king. So then Hanuman went to Nandigram, and he came before Bharat and gave him the good news. Bharat, of course, was finding it hard to believe because monkeys are very frivolous sometimes, and he didn't know whether to believe this monkey or not. And then finally he asked for advice, and he came to the conclusion, yes, he's speaking the truth. So Bharat was overjoyed. And Hanuman, he is very wise himself, he could not observe even the slightest trace of disappointment in the face of Bharat. On the contrary, he could just see great joy. And he understood how much Bharat loved his dear brother Ram. And then preparations were made, announcements were made by Bharat. A special road was made from Nandigram to Ayodhya, and all the ministers were called, and the queen mothers, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikai, they also came on elephants, and many important personalities came there to Nandigram. And Hanuman had said, the Lord is about to arrive any time. And Hanuman had gone back and informed Lord Ram that Bharat is extremely overjoyed to have you back. No trace at all of any kind of disappointment. And he came back to Nandigram. At Nandigram, when there was no sign of Lord Ram appearing there, again Bharat looked at Ram. Have you, being swayed by the frivolous tendencies of monkeys, been joking with me about Lord Ram's arrival? I don't see him coming. And just at that time, Hanuman said, no, there he is, you can see. And in the distance, they could see a great cloud approaching. And that was Lord Ram coming in his Pushpak Viman. And there he could see Lord Ram right in the front, shining like a resplendent sun. And all the monkey soldiers and everyone were all there. And actually, when they were still in Bharadwaj's ashram, Bharadwaj asked him, is there any boon I can give you, Ram? And Ram said, yes. Please give me the boon that all the trees between your ashram and Nandigram should be full of delicious fruits and overflowing with honey. Because he wanted to give a feast to all the monkeys with him. And immediately upon hearing this, Bharadwaj said, so be it. And that happened, lo and behold. So all the monkeys had a big feast. They were going there taking honey and eating all the delicious fruits that were there in the forest. So anyway, now the Pushpak Viman came in, and as it descended, there was a tumultuous uproar of joy. And as Ram descended, he offered his respectful obeisances to his mothers and to his guru Vasishta Muni, to all the Brahmins and so on. And he embraced Bharat. Bharat offered his obeisances to him. Bharat also greeted Lakshman, Sita Devi and Sugriva. And Bharat told Sugriva, you're like our brother now. Please come and stay with us. So in this way there was a grand welcome ceremony, a grand reunion that took place. And now it was time to move by foot on chariot or from Nandigram to Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, the word has spread like wildfire. The citizens of Ayodhya were overjoyed. And they were making all sorts of preparations. They cleaned up the whole city. Therefore, actually a few days before Diwali, from Dwadashi, Trayodashi, people generally clean up their homes and make it spick and span. And they put all sorts of decorations like rangoli and everything, light up their houses. So this is an occasion for cleaning up. Of course, the house should always be kept clean, but a maha cleaning is done usually at these times. So the citizens of Ayodhya had cleaned up the whole city and lit lamps everywhere. There were prayers being chanted, mantras being chanted, songs of joy were being sung everywhere, musical instruments were being played. And then Lord Ram arrived into the city. And it was as if, hungry people had got their food after a long, long time. They all had been suffering in immense separation from Lord Ram. And now that Lord Ram had arrived, all the citizens of Ayodhya felt as if they had got their life heirs back. So this is the occasion that we celebrate as Diwali. It is also the day when the famous Damodar Leela is celebrated. We'll talk about that another day. There's no time to discuss that. It is also the day when Bali Maharaj is said to have surrendered to Vamana Dev. That also will be discussed another day. It is also said to be the day the Pandavas returned to Hastinapur after their exile. It is also the day when a great king called Vikramaditya was coronated, one of the very great historical kings of Bharatvarsha. So anyway, this happened on this day. And tomorrow, of course, is Pratipada, Govardhan Puja. We are going to celebrate that tomorrow. And the day after that is Bhratri Dvitiya, the second day, where brothers and sisters come together. So a very, very happy Deepotsav and Diwali to you. And please remember also Lord Krishna's Damodar Leela at this time. And now we will welcome the Lord and chant Kirtan for some time. Shri Deepotsav ki jai, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Gaur Premanande.